first parasite we're going to talk about today is Singamus trachea. Singamus trachea. And by the name, where do you think this is located? Trachea, right. It's the trachea. They also call it a red worm. Now, one thing that's unique about this that you should remember is that the male and the female are attached in a permanent state of copulation. In a permanent state of copulation. They're attached to each other. They can look, but they can't touch, okay? That's all they can do. Okay, they shape like a little red Y. And then that little Y shaped like this. Yeah. So one of those little legs is the male. Okay? So most of it is going to be the female, and the male is just hanging over their life. Okay? So they Y shape, they're red, and they're in a permanent state of copulation. Has anyone ever seen any of these? Nobody ever seen the straight yet? Okay. The thing about, well, anybody need more time? Okay. Yes.
Did you say that nematodes were fruits, but fruits don't have a body cavity?
No. Nematodes is one category of parasites. Trematodes is another one, which is a fluke. And they don't have a body cavity. That's the tract. Well, the tapeworm has neither body cavity nor digestive tract. Okay? Okay? Now, as you might expect, these worms are in the trachea. They're in a permanent state of copulation. The female is going to lay eggs, and as you might expect, they're going to be coughed up, they're going to be swallowed, and they're going to pass out the feces. Okay? Like many other nematodes we're going to talk about today, this parasite has a direct life cycle and an indirect life cycle. So you can have a direct life cycle and may have intermediate host. Okay? Now, I know I got a lot of stuff here, okay? And I guess sometimes when you put these slides together, you got so much information to put down. But the thing I'm interested in is what I got in bold, okay? Like I said, they have a direct life cycle. That can be, the eggs can be coughed up, swallowed, passing the feces. If another bird comes along to eat it, they will get the Singamus trachea worm again, okay? Now, it can also, the eggs or in the feces can also be eaten by earthworms, okay? Earthworms and snails. And then these are gonna be, insist in the earthworm and the snail body, in the muscles, and then when they're eaten by birds again, then they develop into adults, okay? So you can have a direct life cycle or an indirect life cycle. With the indirect life cycle, the intermediate host is going to be either the snail or earthworms, okay? Now, some of the others, just remember this, because some of the other nematodes we talk about have a similar life cycle. They can be direct or indirect, which use the earthworm being intermediate host. You see that last statement at the bottom of the page? parasite is in ducks and geese. That is similar to Sigmoid trachea in other species. Xanthosoma bronchialis is similar to the Sigmoid trachea, okay? Just that you find it in ducks and geese. And it's going to be in the trachea and in bronchi, okay? So it's very similar to Sigmoid trachea, except this in ducks and geese. So we got it in duck, geese hunters in here, you know. After you kill your duck and geese, you want to impress your date. Just go to and pull out the trachea and say, ah, look at this parasite here. For some women, when you're a guy, you do anything to impress a woman. Even to pull out a trachea, say, ah, look at these parasites. Well, it may not impress you, but believe me, there's one woman out there who's gonna be impressed with that, you know? I have tried everything. Well, you win some, you lose some. Some of them be turning on, oh, you're so crazy in the country. Some of them will say that. And some of them look at you like, how long is this date gonna last? So, but after I took it. They always got a sawdust foot. Okay. They sometimes call this the gate worm. And they call it the gate worm because when all these parasites will accumulate in the trachea and the animal, the chicken really can't breathe, so they start gaping for air, like almost as if they have ALT, they start gaping for air because it's clogged up with all the parasites that are there, with sneezing and coughing and trying to shake their head, trying to get the stuff out of the trachea. So sometimes they will completely, when those severe infections, they can be severe enough that they can completely obstruct the trachea. So it can be very difficult for them trying to breathe sometimes. Okay? Of course, treatment, this is a typical nematode. And a lot of these nematodes can be treated with what? Thiabendazole, methimazole, levamisole, a lot of those. Several of these drugs, okay? Now, one thing I want to point out that's different about avian species, whether it's commercial or pet birds, there are very few drugs that have been approved for use in avian as a whole. So a lot of things you're going to use are going to be off-label. And so just to cover your ear, if that's the case, you might want to tell the owner this beforehand. A lot of these are off-label treatments. Most of them are in chicken, or in avian for the most part, okay? Now, another thing you want to do as far as prevention is concerned, if any of you raise chickens in the backyard flocks, one thing you want to do is remove the litter, because if the litter becomes contaminated with the parasite, the eggs, they're going to ingest it, they're going to create a cycle. So you want to get rid of the litter if it's there. When they say keep intermediate hosts out, I don't know how you keep earthworms and snails out, okay? But, so, now, the one thing I want you to remember about this is Sigmoid trachea. The parasite located where? What clinical signs do you see? sneezing, coughing, shaking head, okay? And how do these look? What color are they?
Red.
What shape are they?
Wow.
White shape. And what you treat it with?
Mebendazole.
Dibenzazole, benbendazole, okay? And there's a similar species that's located in duck and geese, and it's located in the same place, okay? Okay, any questions about Sigma trachea? And these are in what stable copulation? Permanent stable copulation, okay? Okay? That's your first parasite, your first nematode, okay? And it's in the respiratory system. Now we have a couple of capillary worms. We got 3 species of capillary. These are going to be in the digestive tract, where Sigma's trachea was in what? Respiratory tract, right? Trachea. Now, 2 of these are going to be in the esophagus and crop. We look at capillary annulata and contorta. They're in the crop and esophagus. So they are in the what? The upper GI. Okay? Whereas capillary obstignata is in the small intestine. Okay, in the small intestine. Now, remember we talked about first of all, the life cycle for the obstignata, the one that's in the small intestine, has direct transmission. So the eggs are laid, they're passed out in the feces, and develop to L3, and then they can infect what? Other chickens that ingest it. Okay? Okay? Everybody got that? Okay? When is the final exam?
This is the
Okay.
last one.
Just a reminder, yeah, just a reminder that on my part, we never did nutritional disease, I think we did not do. Then the one thing that when you're reviewing that, I want you to know a couple things. What is the nutritional deficiency? You know, what effects it has on the system? What organ system going to be involved? And how do you treat it? Okay? Those are the big things I want you to know. If you got rickets, osteoporosis, or cave-layer fatigue, vitamin A deficiency, what's the deficiency? What the major organ systems are, and how do you treat them? And most times you treat them by what? Supplying the supplement that's missing, or if you got permanent damage, just shoot it, yeah, call it, yeah. Okay? Any questions? Now, remember, we talked about Sigma's trachea. We said they had both a direct life cycle and an indirect life cycle. The same thing is true with capillary annulata and contorta. In that, again, an intermediate host is earthworm, just like it was in what? Sigma's trachea. So they can have a direct life cycle where the eggs are going to be passed in feces, and they're consumed by birds. Or the eggs are going to be passed in feces, and the eggs are consumed by the earthworm, and then the chicken eats what? The eggworm, the earthworm, eggworm, the earthworm, okay? Now, when that backyard flock chicken comes into your practice, and it's such bad health that you're going to, so emaciated that you're going to, it has diarrhea, it's emaciated, that you're gonna sacrifice it and do a necropsy. Typically what you're gonna find is that if it's annulata or contorta, that you can find a hemorrhagic enteritis. Hemorrhagic enteritis is small intestine, what you can find. Okay, so diarrhea, hemorrhagic enteritis is what you will find when the capillary is in the small intestine. Okay? Okay? Does anyone need more time? Okay. Okay? One other thing I think I want to point out here is, when you got the lesions, when the lesions are in the crop and the small intestine, due to capillary, what you're gonna find is basically that the mucosa is gonna be thickened. So the crop and the esophagus is gonna be thickened when you look at it, when it's in the crop and the esophagus. It's gonna be thickened. Okay, and these are particularly common when you look at quail. Quail is where you find capillary in the upper GI for the most part, in the crop and the esophagus. And a very thickened wall of the esophagus and crop through the capillary. So far, we've talked about 4 different parasites, and all of them can be treated with what? Thiopentazole, okay? If you can remember thiopentazole for all 4 of these, I will be happy. I will feel that I have succeeded in my mission, okay? When you got in practice, you can always look up treatments, but I'll be happy if you know that all these can be treated with thiopentazole, and they're all nematodes. As you remember that all of these please accept my apologies. I should have done this beforehand. Okay? See, if one of y'all falling going up, you looking like, okay. Any questions? Remember, we have 3 capillaries, 2 of them are in One of them was in what, in the esophagus and trachea, and the other one was where? Small intestine. One in small intestine, you get a hemorrhage and diarrhea associated with it, okay? And the one in the crop and the esophagus, you're gonna get just sticky mucosa, okay? And you see that primarily in quail, okay? Now, in any of these, you can treat them with what? Diabendazole, okay? So, location, what? Small intestine, crop, esophagus, okay? Treatment, diabendazole, okay? And they all look like little round worms, yes.
You said the intestinal permeability?
Now, the crop and esophagus is primarily quail, yeah, quail, yeah. When you think about quail, that's what you think about. When you do quail, you don't decrop on them, or if you go quail hunting, again, you want to impress someone, she may be 5 years old, you want to impress your daughter, just say, look what I have here, you know? Always about impressive. So you can look, always look in the trachea, in the crop and upper GI, and esophagus, yes. Okay? One of my favorite asterisks is the next nematode. As you all know, the first thing you learn here is that they are thick yellow white round worms, okay? And they have what type of life cycle? Direct life cycle. They have a direct life cycle. Most of the time, if you're down in necropsy and if it's what, Chicken Thursday, okay? And if you look in the GI, sometimes we'll find aspirates. One thing you commonly find, you may find the aspirates, and they're going to be in the small intestines for the most part, okay? And it's Ascaria gala. Ascaria gala is where you find it for the most part. You can see little worms here, little round worms. You know, the biggest thing you have in aspirin for the most part, when you get a heavy infestation, you get what? You get blockage. You get blockage of the intestine, you can get blockage of the gallbladder. Those are the things we're most time concerned with, intestinal blockage. These are going to be limited for the most part to the small intestine. And these have a what? Direct life cycle. Eggs are laid, pass into feces, develop L3, the chicken ingests them, and then the cycle begins all over again. Okay? When you're doing necropsies, if you got backyard flocks, sometimes they may be more apt to have some of these internal parasites, especially aspirates, okay? You just don't find it, okay? Unless they're relatively young, they can't present problems, okay? Anyone need more time? Good. The next thing, you can treat these with, what do you treat, we just, oftentimes in avian medicine, they would use piperazine for the most part. Piperazine. And I'm sure you can think of some other drugs you might use, but in avian medicine, a lot of times we'll use piperazine. Okay? Again, it's a simple treatment. With all of these, you want to have a good idea to prevent litter management. You want to sort of break the life cycle if you can. And that's remove the litter so frequently, or if you got on wire mesh floors, all that will help to cut down on the incidence of these nematode parasites. Yes.
When you say first one, probably 5 weeks of age, and then continuously deworm them every 3 days?
Yeah, about 30 days ago. Most of these, once they get a certain age, they have some degree of natural immunity. So if you can give it to them at about 5 weeks, and then afterwards, 30 days, the other 4 have needed. Because most times when they get older, they tend to develop immunity. If you ever done a necropsy, you notice that whenever you get older animals, they don't have nearly as many parasites that the young ones do, because somewhere along the line they develop immunity. Unless it's a small ruminant with heart, then that makes no difference. I think they get worse over time, but that's not the case here. Okay, the last of our nematode parasite are cecal worms. Cecal worms. And these are found in the ceca of chickens and other avian species. What's the proper name for this? Heterachus gallinae. Heterachus gallinae. Now, if you suspect these, and if you're doing, either if you're looking at the feces, or if you're doing a necropsy, you're looking at ceca, you have to look very carefully, because the worms these are really small worms. At maturity, they're only about 1/3 to 1/2 an inch. And they're very small, so they can be easily missed. But they can cause pretty severe damage to the ceca sometimes. This is the one that you will see a lot in a lot of backyard flocks. Backyard flocks, you will see these in the ceca quite a bit, okay? And a lot of times backyard flocks, they're what? They're on dirt, and the ground becomes contaminated, and they're frequently being reinfected with them. So this is one to look. They're only about 1/3 or 1/2 an inch. Not nearly as big as ascaris or the capillary, so they're very small, 1/3 to 1/2 an inch. And I assume Dr. Casimir talked to you all about blackhead disease in turkeys associated with Heterachus gallinae and what? And histomonas. So that's all true here too. They can transmit blackheads, okay? The organism Histomonas melagridus, which is a protozoa, can be picked up by cecal worms and intestine-infected birds, okay? So, the lesions are going to be in the ceca. You know, at the junction of the small intestines, the large intestine, you got those 2 ceca, those 2 blind sites that come down, and those are where they can be infected, okay? And we say that whenever you get a lot of hemorrhage, necrosis in the ceca, There are 3 diseases that she should think of. What are they? One of them is what? Cecal worms. What's the other 2? Coccidia. What is the coccidia? And Mary, what? Tenella, right. What's the other one? It's a bacteria. Gram-negative. Salmonella. Okay, salmonella. Okay. Have you noticed that lately they've had a lot of outbreaks of food poisoning, and most of them tend to be associated with what?
Lettuce.
With what? Raw vegetables, right? Raw vegetables. Always gonna be a problem because they're raw, they're not cooked, okay? Whereas, yeah, they're not cooked. That's one problem. The other thing is that all of those coming to venue FDA don't have nearly the budget that USDA has as far as monitoring potential infectious diseases for the most part. Okay? Okay. Question? I didn't want you to know that it can be, they can transmit Histomonas metaagris, which causes blackhead disease. Okay? They pretty much have a direct life cycle for the most part. Okay? Again, the least you can see when you just got cecal worms, there will be thickening of the cecal wall for the most part, because the worms are embedded in there. So thickening of the cecal wall. If you want to remember something for treatment, just remember the first one, because that's the only one I'm going to remember. Phenothiazine, okay? Now you can remember all the rest of it if you want to, but with a test, it's going to be phenothiazine. Then I can guarantee you, there's not going to be Meldane 2, and there's not going to be hydromycin B. It's going to be what? Phenothiazine, okay? Okay? Last thing we'll talk about today are tapeworm. There are 2 tapeworms that we primarily find in avian medicine. One of them is very long, and one of them is very short. The one that's very, very short is only about 1/6 of an inch, and that's the venia. The venia, very short. I have never seen one of these. They might have been down there, but my eyes are just not sharp enough to see something that small. But the long one, the one that some of you always see when we're doing necropsies on Thursday on chicken sometimes, the relatinia, they can be up to 12 inches long. Anybody seen those in necropsy when they're down there? Take one, you see them, right? They're very long, about 12 inches long, and they got the typical tapeworm stem. Now, it can be broken off too, but sometimes they'll break off. But they're flat worms, and You won't confuse them for a nematode, okay? They are very long. And as you know, if they are tapeworms, they do have what? An intermediate host, okay, indirect life cycle. Well, the intermediate host is gonna be insects or arthropods. So the ones that are very long are gonna be Relatinia, very long tapeworms, okay? I don't know if I have a picture of them here, if not, I'll show them to you the next time we come to Thursday. But so the very short one comes first, Davinia, disease short, and aura is long, 12 inches. Relatinia is the long one, about 12 inches long. Next time we're down in necropsy, who's on necropsy now? Yeah, you wanna have chickens on Thursday, go to the gut and see if you can see some of the one that you're most likely going to see are gonna be tapeworms and aspirins, okay? And what I'm saying here is just what you know about tapeworms in general. They're intermediate hosts, may be anything from snails, beetles, grasshopper, earthworm, you name it. And basically what you see is you get loss of weight and loss of appetite for the most part. Okay, now, when we get our test, which is gonna be about 3 weeks from now, the 14th, I want you to remember for these, that the cestos, there are two. The Venia is the short one, the Relatinia is what? The long one, okay? Basically, like with most tapeworms, you get weight loss, for the most part, okay? And they have an indirect life cycle. So that's what I want you to remember for the test. If you can tell me which one is long and which one is short, I am happy, okay? I have succeeded what I want you to know, okay? I get a lot of stuff, but that's what I want you to know. Which one is short, which one is long, and the fact that they are tapeworms, okay? Yes,
Is it cumulative? The test, is it cumulative?
to the best of my knowledge, it is. Well, on my part, I'll give you a study guide on my part as to what, for the cumulative part of my part. I don't want you to go back and learn the first part like you did the first time, but a certain disease I want you to concentrate, and a certain basic thing I want you to know. And those are those diseases that you're most likely to see on that. And I want you to know what the etiology is, basic terms, sign of lesion, and treatment for the most part. Okay, I think that's about what we do today. Now, just review what we did today. We did talk about just two tapeworms, the Venia and Delta Pro Latinia, okay? They are flatworms. They have intermediate hosts. Okay? And then we talked about a group of nematodes. We started with Stingless trachea, which we said that they're located for the most part in the trachea, that they are windworms, that they're permanently attached to the state of copulation, and that they lay eggs that are going to be coughed up and swallowed in the feces, and they may have either a direct life cycle or indirect life cycle, okay? And indirect life cycle, the immediate host is gonna be what? Earthworms, okay? And then we talk about 3 species of capillary. We said 2 of them occur primarily in the small intestines, that you get a hemorrhagic enteritis and diarrhea with them, okay? The other one occurs primarily in the crop and esophagus. And when I said that one occurs primarily in what species of bird? Quail. And basically get thickening of the walls of the crop and esophagus and those. And with all 3 of those, plus single trachea, what we treated with? Diabendazole. They have ascaris. The Ascaridia galli was located in the small intestine. Okay, they have a direct life cycle. And what drug do we treat them with?
Piperidine.
What?
Piperidine? Not piperidine.
Is it piperazine? Okay? Okay.
Say it out loud. Chicken?
And then we had the sickle worms. These are located in the sickle. Okay? We said that they be associated with histomonas because they can be transmitted by the parasite Enteritis gallinae. Okay? You get thickening again of the cecal walls. Okay? And what we treat with? Phenothiazine. Okay? That's what I want. I did not ask you about treatment for tapeworm. I'm not gonna ask you about it on the test. You can look it up. These things change so much in birds. Not been a real big problem, but, and just keep in mind that the most common tapeworm problem in birds is Velatenia. Velatenia is the one that's the most prevalent, okay? Do we have any questions? I think it's about time to call it a day. We will see y'all when? Thursday at 10, okay? Yes.